Happy 8 o'clock in the morning talking about people's poos. Not my poo. I mean, that would be disgusting.
Right, right.
This is like a made-up poo.
This is a hypothetical.
It was hyper. That's for sure.
Yeah. You know what even stinks? I forgot to click start
I do know
for
what
that little
stinks.
part.
Oh.
So I guess we'll do I was like making sure that the cameras weren't on. I'm like, oh, it's not recording on the other thing. We've been live on air. So don't worry about that.
Well, that's good because the people driving into work were like, I wonder what the poo situation is over at 95.9.
Yeah.
And,
And then they just heard a story about me telling about how another person that's been on the show completely bombed at a show in Bismarck one time, and I had to go in. I'm like, you know what? Maybe we can not put that. So I perfectly edited it out by accident. But, yeah, we got Matthew Ternus. Do you go by Matthew or Matt?
Matthew, yep.
Okay.
you prefer Matthew.
Yep.
Were you religious growing up?
No, not particularly. The
Are you
most
religious now?
No.
Oh, okay.
The most.
When are you going to become religious?
Yeah, this
You
is
know,
a
I
religious
have it
show.
in my calendar for Thursday.
Yeah, this is
So-
actually like a, not intervention, but this is a conversion.
Good. Well, so I am. I am
like
an
the Spanish
ordained
Inquisition.
minister.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So you could marry people.
Yes, I'm an ordained minister. I also have my alcohol serving license. So not only can I serve you wine, I can bless it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty good. Has my wine ever been blessed?
Transubstantiation if you're
could be.
Catholic.
Yeah, if you're
Actually,
if
that's
you're
the
in
difference between Catholic and Lutheran church and stuff is when the priests bless it in Catholic church, it actually turns into wine. It turns into blood and body instead of just wine and whatever. And that's like the belief. Whereas in other churches, it's just like a symbol of the body and blood.
Yeah, because I've been to both, and both times I drank juice and bread and ate bread, and one
Wine.
time.
Oh, you're actually getting bread? You're not getting the little wafers?
Well, we got a chunk of, I believe it was sourdough. I don't know what kind of bread. It was like a little piece of bread. You know, I think actually one
That's a
church I
fine
did get
church.
a wafer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Piece of ham in the middle. They actually just have Lunchables up there. Being like,
They were like, I was like, I can't eat this ham. And they were like, we knew it. And they kicked me out of the
they're
church.
like the turkey of Christ.
The turkey. The turkey. Because he's really old. He's got a turkey neck. I'm like,
Well, it depends. They have multiple
Christs.
They have multiple types of Lunchables.
Yeah,
Or
pizza.
they
the
just
pizza.
spread the marinara, the body and blood of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
With the red stick over it.
Yeah. What would the pepperonis be then? What part
His
of
nipples.
Christ?
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, you've never seen Christ's nipples? They're like big old pepperonis up there.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's
oh,
three
man.
of them always. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
dude, that might be one of the funniest pranks to do. Make sure it's not a blood statue or anything to make people mad, but just to paint pepperoni nipples on Jesus.
oh, you wouldn't go to heck for that.
No.
That's where we draw the line. We can't say hell. We have to say heck.
Mm-hmm.
We just, you know how there's always those bandits that are always stealing different religious signs from, I think it's like St. Joseph's, or there's always one like St. Anthony's. I think always, I mean, it's don't deface stuff.
Yeah, don't
But they
deface
actually-
St. Tony's.
They've been like stealing those and like really causing a lot of damage. If we just put big nipples,
Big
on a bunch of
pepperonis.
statues, I guess maybe we'd stay away from the religious ones. Maybe we'd, and we're gonna do that to Bob, Bob Dylan. Downtown. Next time you drive
Give him big
downtown, you see the
pepperonis.
Bob Dylan statue. We're just putting
There's a
big
statue?
nipples on it. Painting. I said the
Okay,
wrong
I was
thing.
like, whoa, because okay.
I just have you on my. You're standing on my shoulders.
We might want to do that
We
the
can
other
do
way
it.
around.
Then, well, nope. We're actually Matthew's going on bottom. I'm climbing on top him.
Yeah.
And then we're standing on top of each other like the cow to the chicken thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, now do we buy a trench coat? Do we have to get one custom made so it looks just like one person?
So first stop at Halberstadt's.
Yes.
Downtown, right? We got to stay close to the action.
Do
We'll get
they
that.
And
have
support local business.
and support local? But yeah, my buddy, I think his older brother owns that place downtown.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on.
The Halberstratzt. I don't know how to say it. I
The
never said it.
Halberstadt's. It's like Worcestershire of Fargo.
The Worcestershire.
Worcestershire?
It's the Liam Parents. Like I've never said Worcestershire. I always call it.
You got it.
No, I don't. I always call it. I always call it Liam Parents, and that's brand recognition right there. Like I say, hey, get me the Leon Parents. And then somebody's like, bro, we're having spaghetti. And I'm like, yeah.
And we're washing it down with Sunny D.
Yes. So how much do you think a trench coat of that size magnitude would cost? Like, it's got to be custom made.
Oh, gosh.
How much is a real trench coat, regular, and then you have to alter it?
I wonder, how far do we need the trench coat to go?
Well, we're all 6 feet at
That
least.
is true. Yeah, because you must be 6 foot.
6'2" if it matters.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm 6 foot half an inch, so I'm the shortest. Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good. I'm 6'7.5". I'm 60. Nope. Actually, last time I went to the doctors, and I say doctors because I think it's funny because I noticed some people say doctors like with an S, like it's plural. Like sometimes you go to the doctors and you don't even actually see a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Between 2017 and 2020, I had 5 surgeries, 446 doctor appointments on my lower back, on my butt. And most of those appointments, I didn't even see a doctor. I just saw like a nurse. So
Really?
I feel that.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that when I heard
You had some surgeries on your lower back butt?
Yeah.
Lower back, upper legs.
Yep.
Lower back, upper
lower
legs.
back, like right at the bottom of the tailbone, top of the butt crack.
Okay.
It's pilonidal cyst disease, if you've ever heard of it.
Never heard of it.
There's cysts that form in your butt crack.
Okay.
They've got to be surgically removed.
Like hemorrhoids.
Yeah, kind of,
But they're like up
but like
more.
not
They're upper-
yeah,
upper
like
crackle.
up. And they've got to be surgically removed. And my doctors, they were always like, I went through several surgeons. They never knew why it kept happening until I had my third surgeon, and he was like, Matthew, do you know why this is happening to you?
And you're like, no, I wish you would tell me.
Exactly. And then he's like, your butt crack, and he makes this hand sign. He goes, your butt crack, it's too deep. And I blushed. It was like he called me medically thick.
Yeah.
Like I'll take that. That's the fastest I ever changed my Tinder bio after that diagnosis.
I'm medically thick.
Mhm.
I'm going to use that too. I don't have a Tinder, but I'm going to put that on my Facebook status update.
Yeah, please do.
I'm medically thick like Matthew T.
That could be a rap song.
Let's
Medically
do it.
thick like Matthew T. Sometimes when I poop, I also gotta pee.
Oh. Pee is stored in the, and then in the background, I'll be like, pee is stored in the balls.
Yeah.
Because that's where pee's from.
And I got a thick butt. Crack.
Crack. Boom.
Actually, if you just say butt and then you have a whip.
Like Sir Mix-a-Lot
Yeah.
song.
Butt. So the butt crack.
That sounded like a
That's
spit.
good.
That was a good whip sound. Man. That was like, you could use that as one of those sound clips. Oh my God. Jeez.
You make any noises, man?
I don't know if I even want to try.
Yeah, but that's a whip, a cracked whip. What other noises can you make?
Oh, jeez.
I want to do the third place race car in the NASCAR Indy 500 1982.
Oh, 1982.
That's
That
Third
ended
place,
with just
third
a
place.
thick Matt T.
Yeah,
that
third
sounded
place.
more like the air escaping from your surgically removed.
Yeah. Well, you said third place. If you wanted the winner,
Yeah,
I could have
yeah,
gave you
that's
the
true.
winner.
Yeah, the third
Yeah.
place doesn't sound like a tractor.
Dude, it's a 3-car race.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It was the Indy 500.
Yeah, 500 3 cars.
For my
500.
for my sister, like my parents bought us all cars. That was like the one present they ever bought us for when you graduated high school. They're like, "We'll get you a car."
Okay, so you can leave.
Yeah, they're like, "Get the hell out." My sister though, my dad just had an extra tractor. He was like, "You can have that."
Nice.
And then, so she had to just figure out how to sell it and stuff. He didn't even sell it for her. He's like, "You take that tractor, figure it out." And she got a Mercury Sable.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's pretty. I used to have a friend named Sable, and she complained about people calling her Stable and Mercury Sable.
She's like, "I'm not. There's no stable woman named Sable. That is an insane woman." And she also probably works at the Northern.
No, she was in music school, and I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I never once thought to call her Stable. It never even crossed my mind to be like, "What's up, Stable?" But then when she said it, I was like, no, I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah, that's like a drug at that point. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to use this forever.
I never called her it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, out
Good
of
restraint.
respect. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you're not going to lie to her.
She was very unstable. No, she was pretty cool. She's pretty cool, but her name was Sable.
Yeah, most people with unique names are the most stable. Condoned Blaise, Sable, Markway,
Matthew. Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't know about Markway. That guy's kind of a. The other day, somebody hit me with I forget what I said, but
that's the stable sound effect.
That's the stable sound. They just hit me with, and I never felt so insulted in my life. I forget what it was. Something like, oh, yeah, well, I can throw a fastball 98 miles per hour. Panera. I could throw a fastball at bread.
Fastball through Panera bread.
That's what they said to me.
Dude, that is... Dude, getting an to a story is sad.
It hurts.
Especially when you're excited to tell it.
And I was.
That's usually someone that's...
They were bored with my story, and I was like, dude, there's lasers, dragons, baseballs being thrown.
That or an oh really? Like just a simple acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Huh.
You know what I noticed a couple weeks ago is like you can't say good for you like in a way that sounds like you're genuinely excited. Like somebody says, oh, dude, I just lost 38 pounds. And then somebody's like, good for you. It never sounds like, congratulations.
Oh,
it always sounds like,
you.
oh, good for you, you dork.
Fatty.
You know? Yeah. You fatty McFatterson.
You know what I had to do? Not lose 38 pounds.
Oh, you just got a joke. You casually say, I lost 120 pounds. You lost a whole other person. Like, all right, Yusha. Just because you weigh 16 pounds.
Yeah, he's a skinny boy.
Mm-hmm.
Skinny Uranian boy.
He's Uranian?
Uranium.
Uranium. Nuclear.
Yeah.
Nuclear Uranus. Is Uranus Uranus?
Uranus. It's funny, like people saying cutter instead of like people saying Qatar. And they're like, it's pronounced cutter. It was like, this has never been Uranus the whole time. It's always been Uranus.
Oh, no.
Which also doesn't sound any better. This is a Uranus planet.
It sounds like, oh, it's a planet made of pee. I think it was Uranus. And then some scientist was like, hey, you know, it kind of also sounds like your anus. And then somebody was like, no, it's called Uranus. That's why. And then they're like, oh, okay. Actually, they were like, it's called Uranus. And then somebody was like,
Yep.
What if it was supposed to be named Sunaroo and they just did it backwards?
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah.
kind of like your butt crack.
Hit the sound. Hit the sound.
Yeah.
That's just a points and. That might be one of the new go-tos. We'll get Matthew plugged in here too, just because that's what I accidentally skipped over. I was like, you know what? We'll get plugs out right away, so everyone will hear this part. and I was like,
nothing.
Yeah.
And
So
now it's dropping Wolf Fate.
So Matthew, this Thursday.
Yes, this
Tell 'em what's
Thursday.
up.
This Thursday at the Empire Arts Center in Grand Forks, I've got the second show in my summer tour. Performing with Richard Z and Yusha, who are both, well known down here, very active in the local comedy scene. Again, that's Thursday, July 10th at the Empire Arts Center in Grand Forks. Showtime 7 p.m. After that, next weekend, we're heading to Aberdeen, myself, Richard Z, and then a gentleman named Caleb Iltz. That is July 19th. August 2nd, we're in Rogers, Minnesota. August 15th in Crookston, Minnesota. So we're staying active. We're having a lot of fun this summer.
Oh,
That'll be good. Summer's usually the slow time for the old comedy dogs.
Mm-hmm.
not for you guys, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to fit it all in the summer. I work events as my 9 to 5, so that takes up my fall. That's our busy
that makes
season.
a lot more sense. Yeah,
try to fit in as many mics as I can in the spring and summer.
that's pretty sweet.
What are you doing tomorrow?
I am in an improv troupe. up in Grand Forks, and we rehearse Wednesdays at 7. Rehearsing improv sounds fake.
Yeah, because I
but
thought it was
it's
supposed to be on the cusp.
Yeah,
on the cuff.
It
off
is.
The cuff.
Well, art is a lie and nothing is real, as Bo Burnham once said. So, but I know there's the open mic at the Cellar. One of these days, I'm gonna have to skip practice and come down and hang out with y'all.
Yeah, ever do that? Or on Mondays at Fort Knox?
Fort Knox.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Tuesdays at
Bosses.
Bosses.
You can gamble during that one. Well, you
I
can gamble
love that
during
you
most
guys
of them.
have so many open mics down here. Up in Grand Forks, we've only got like one a month.
Oh yeah,
and it's
that
so
has
quiet
to be
up there.
tough to work anything out.
Yeah, it is. We're kind of just flipping a coin half the time. And
Yeah.
then, you know, the shows up there, it's sometimes tough as you only get comics in the room, and the comics don't like to necessarily laugh at other comics all the time. So it's oh God, I think I'm bombing right now.
Yeah, that's most open mics.
Mhm.
That's most open mics.
Yeah, the most the Cellar's a cheat code for open mics, which I mean we say all the time because it's not really. I think people get false. Sometimes people do too well at the Cellar.
Yeah, that
I
is
shouldn't
true.
say it that way. Right? It's not like ragging on anybody, but you come in with. You think your jokes are a lot better going to a crowd
Yeah.
the first time at the Cellar, when really then you're like, this is the best thing ever, and then you go to another mic and you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So then you got to work it out so that those people think it's funny. Otherwise, you're just, yeah.
It's true. The Cellar mic has a show vibe. Like you feel like you're performing at a show, and a lot of people just go to that one, which is a little bit. That's I'd venture to say it's a little disappointing to see people who just go to that one and don't go to the other ones because they don't know what it's really like out there.
Right.
You know, like if they went to a different city and did a mic somewhere else, sometimes they'd have to pay $5 to get into a mic where it's 10 comics just playing on their phone waiting for their turn.
Yeah.
And you paid $5 for that, you know? So, I mean, we have a good spot, but it does give a little bit of, I don't want to say false. But it's definitely like not a cheat code. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess it's more like you're doing it, but it's not the best metric because people are there to have a good time.
That's what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think you're doing good when you go somewhere else. You could say the same jokes in the same order in the same like inflections and all that jazz, and then people will just be staring at you.
Yeah. Like going from that to a bar show.
Oh yeah,
It's completely.
we just did a bar show last weekend up in Lake of the Woods, and you know you've got everybody talking over you. You've got people that are just there to have dinner. Like those, sometimes I have to remind myself like I'm essentially just background noise for most of this audience.
Oh,
but
yeah.
for the 10 people who are paying attention and laughing and having fun, like that show is for those people.
Yeah.
And anyone else I convince to put their burger down or their Coors Light down. And is Coors Light a sponsor of this show?
Anything that wants to give us money.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, until they're a sponsor, an unnamed beer, you know, if I can convince them to put their drink down and watch and listen, like that's just all the more enjoyment for me. But like, yeah, those bar shows, those are a struggle sometimes.
Yeah. I like, as long as they're not free shows, it's usually not that bad. If you have like, that's one thing, I mean, I'm still doing a ton of them, but it's like, you want, especially if I'm kind of putting that show on, I'm always like, have them pay money, because then they're there for the show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like, especially lake shows. Lake shows are always pretty much horrendous because you just like you go up there and then everyone's drunk from being on the lake from noon on, and then it's 8 p.m. It's still not even dark out because those bars still have big windows on the lakes, and so you're just standing in front of a white window, being like, "Sweet, these drunk college kids who just crashed their dad's boat right beside me are being loud."
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a joke. I'm like, I just did
Yeah.
for 10 minutes. You just
Yeah.
We're 30 minutes into this set,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, those slurs that I was calling you were part of the set. Do you guys do any? What did you do for 4th of July?
Oh gosh, we went and saw Jurassic World, which is about as exciting as my weekend got.
Depending how good is the movie.
So I'm super easy to please with movies. Like, I went to all the midnight premieres of the Twilight movies and enjoyed it, right? If that says anything about me and my
we'll see
movie-
you next week.
Yeah, have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me on, everybody. My name is Matthew.
That's crazy. Twilight?
Yeah, dude, I was a big Team Edward guy when I was growing up,
What's Team Edward?
So there's Edward and there's Jacob. It's the two like main love interests of the movie. There's the vampire and the werewolf. I was the vampire guy.
Is it what?
Yep, you're right. Everything you're thinking is correct. So
I thought Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
I thought she was the love interest.
Well, so she's
she
like the
loved-
main character.
She loved both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, so they had like a three.
Yeah.
Between
Alright.
a werewolf
It's like-
and a vampire.
And that's
You're-
how Lycans
the-
were born, like the werewolf vampire hybrid from Underworld was born.
Yeah, like every little like smutty little novel that you've ever read or listened to on audiobooks is
Not
like
once.
based off. No, you don't?
No, I'm not Beth Ablin.
the ones that we listen to.
yeah. Hey, I don't know, man. You can be into whatever. It's 2025.
That is true.
Yeah.
Smutty novels. That's Bethany Ablin. That's her thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't read them. I listen to them, and I'm not even like I'm in for the plot development now.
What's your favorite smutty? Do you know Bethany Ablin?
I've met her a couple times, yeah.
What's your favorite smutty novel?
Oh gosh, so I got put on this series. It started off as like a joke, right? Like someone was like, "You've got to listen to this," because the audiobooks are wild.
I bet
like,
they're very sensual.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's,
I would
it's
get bricked up.
where do
watching
they
She
find
said-
these voice actors for these? Because like I get to listen to a book and hear a British man say the word moist 38 different times in 38 different ways, like right.
Moist.
Yeah,
Moist.
exactly.
Moist.
There's this one series. It's crazy.
I can't say moist
Moist.
38 different. I can barely say 38.
I'm the most moist.
Most moistest.
Moist.
Yeah,
Moist.
that's exactly it. You should get into audiobook recording. But there's this one series. It's crazy. It's the only like book I've had to be like, I can't do this. It takes like Disney characters and just ruins them. Like 2 pages into it, I had to turn it off. I'm like, I can't do this right now.
Homegrown sins and stuff. Wow. That is funny.
gosh.
It's
Well, they
funny
were-
to have if your wife walks into the room and you just quick press pause. It's like, what are you listening to? Not even like.
I'm listening to the Wild Rose of Thundertown or something like that. Like what?
It's the rainbow fish, honey. I'm sorry.
Rainbow fish giving the scales away? That rainbow fish?
Yeah, it's a very smutty book.
I don't know anything about it. Never heard of it. But I don't think I can listen to a smutty book because, for one, my Amazon, my Audible thing is shared.
Oh,
So, like, if I download the smutty book, I'd have to be like, I pressed that on accident. Well, it shows here that you listened to it 3 times and you're a gold member of the. And you're like,
In 3-minute segments.
I must have just fallen asleep so many times and autoplayed.
and
Yeah.
auto played.
Why do you keep bringing your Discman to the bathroom?
You're a big fan of pages 67 through 69.
They say moist 57 times.
Yeah. Obviously, you've never read page 68. How do you feel about the word moist?
It doesn't bother me.
No, I don't care about the word moist. It's mostly like, I guess, women that are like, I don't like that word.
I've heard a
And
lot
I-
of guys
I
say that. I've
don't-
heard more
Yeah.
guys, I think, say that.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Are there any words that get you guys that like, oh, I can't do, well, like outside of like bad words, right? But like anything moist-esque that you're like, ooh, that ruffles me.
Words don't really do that to me.
Yeah. Huh. I'd have to hear the word, and then I'd be like, oh, I don't like that word. But,
Yeah.
That's
I
fair.
There's
mean-
really nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
like the N-word, I don't like hearing
yeah,
that word,
yeah.
you know?
I like hearing it. I just don't say it. When I'm talking with Mark Way and his friends, not with white people, but
Not with... Oh, dude, the comedian that's going to be here, there's a couple people now that I've heard say the joke about them hanging out with, like, black folk and then the black folk call the white guy the N-word, and then the white guy is always like,
dude,
I'm accepted now.
Yeah. That happened to me in college. Mike Seegers, like the super good running back who's returned all those punts and stuff. He'd always come out to our house. He was like, "Yeah, Blaise, and he was like, "Say it back to me." And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he was getting mad I wouldn't say it, and I'm like, "I'm in a real predicament here."
Like, I'm gonna get beat up for not saying
Yeah,
it.
because
Like,
he just
oh,
had his
that
arm
sucks.
around me. He's like, "No, man, you're with me," and I was like, "Ah."
I'm not gonna do that. I don't.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh man, what if that was the like default? Like, you go to say a bad word and then that sound just comes up. Like,
yeah,
oh, I can't believe I did that.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
yeah.
That'd be fun.
I'd really love that.
You could say like I really fucking love that.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could say ing. You know, like, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bad word and how do you spell it?
Ooh, my favorite bad word. Let's do this.
What's it start
Ready?
with?
Well, it's my favorite bad word is.
Oh, 1 second.
That's tough. And how it's used in a sentence is "I love." Yeah, and it's spelled.
That's a 7-letter word.
Oh, let's see. It's, nope. Alexander. Nope.
It starts with an F. I'll say that.
Oh,
I was explicitly told I couldn't
pharmacy.
say it. Yeah, exactly.
Farming. Farming is a bad word.
yeah,
Can't say it around here.
yep. What are
Well-
your? I forgot what else I was gonna say. I had something. What I was thinking about. You have a relationship?
Yes,
You're in a
yep.
relationship? Married?
Just dating.
Okay.
Yep.
Gonna
How
propose?
Yeah, dating for about coming up on 4 years. You know, we're talking about it.
Nice.
So.
What's her name?
Her name is Madeline.
Well, Madeline, get ready because he's down on one knee.
Madeline, if you're
I
listening,
mean, he's down on one knee. Do you want to say something to her?
What's the number to call in here?
701-478-4959.
Great. Now we'll sit in silence for a
Yeah.
couple seconds.
oh no, Madeline's gonna call right now. She is on the phone.
She's on the phone.
Ring.
And so is your mistress. No, I'm just-
Oh, that would be the. Oh man, those are the funniest ones on the radio.
man,
Except
we
for, I
should
think
just
they're all
have
fake.
someone. We could just bombard someone in here sometime.
Just get some guy off the street and be like, "Hey, we need somebody on the radio," and then
Yeah.
just pretend like, "Hey, let's call your girlfriend," and then we'll have one of our friends call in and pretend to be his mistress. Well,
Yep.
Oh,
What do you think about, because monogamous,
yes,
polygamous?
yep. Monogamous.
I think it's funny that people say ethically monogamous. I was just thinking about that this morning as I was laying in bed.
you could say
That'd
that.
be like spiritually polygamous then?
Yeah, people are like, I'm ethically non-monogamous, I guess. They say I'm ethically non-monogamous, and that pretty much means polygamous, that you just, your partner's fine with you going out with other people. But I think it's funny just to put the word ethical before it, to be like, this isn't bad. Like,
This isn't. I thought polygamy was like boxing.
I ethically murdered that man.
Oh, you did it halal.
That's the same thing too when people are like, these animals aren't getting killed ethically. I'm like, who cares? They're getting killed.
You're
either
killing
way.
them somehow, some way. Yeah, that's what. Like, if it's halal, it's got to be killed a certain way.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you say you thought polygamy was boxing?
I did say that because a lot of times I confuse words, and polygamy and pugilist are the same thing in my mind. Like, you can sleep with multiple people or you can box.
Yeah.
So those are the two options.
Those
Yeah.
are the two options.
It's how you use it. Is it a noun or a verb? It changes the meaning of it.
I think that I'll actually, I'll sleep with other people. Not
then
really
I'll-
into
don't wanna
boxing.
box.
and then I'll box them. You know, it's every time I go to a
Box
restaurant.
them. Make sure it's a guy.
If she has gloves on and is taking a swing at me, I'm gonna assume I'm in a
What
boxing.
kind of but they got to make sure that they're not Michael Jackson gloves. Just one little.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, they're wearing gloves.
No, every time I go to a restaurant, I don't finish my food, and then the server will say something like, "Do you want a box? Do you want a box?" And then I'll be like fight. Like I don't have any gloves, but I mean sure. And then I stand up, and then I realize that the guy's he's a server, and he's been, on the college football team for the last 5 years.
Ooh.
And he's 6'5", 245 pounds of pure muscle.
Nice.
And then he wants to box me. And
you've got to at that point.
Well, I'm in front of my whole family, so
you've got
I have to
at that
defend
point.
my honor.
Yeah.
I have to defend and I'm like, hey, where are the boxing gloves? And then he says, this is bare knuckle, baby. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me just say to my family, and I turn around quick and I look at them and I give my wife the wink. And then I turn around real quick and I punch the dude square in the jaw, just as hard as I can. And he just looks at me. His face doesn't move, but my hand sure hurts. And I'm like, oh, man, I just punched Superman.
Yeah.
Clark Kent.
Yep.
then
Notable football player, Clark Kent.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you know him from the University of Nebraska. And I'm like,
NIL has ruined this game.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. And I'm like, could you imagine Superman on the high school football team? I don't know why he didn't, I think there's actually a movie where the kid, there's a kid that gets Superman-like powers, but instead of being,
turns
good.
bad.
Yeah, he's,
What is
very
that
evil.
again?
It's like Brightburn or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would be me. If I got Superman powers, I'd be burning everybody. People would be like, hey, Markway, you failed this test. And I'd be like, did I? Oh, you just burned my watch off my hand. I'm like, yeah, I know. I did it. I took it easy on you. Do you want me to burn? And then I'd slowly start burning the hair off their arm, and they'd be like, oh my God, yeah, you got an A. And he'd turn that F into an A, and I'd be like, I know. It's weird how people get A's with only 42 points out of 100. But that 4 became an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'd look at the camera, and they'd be like...
It'd be a sitcom.
You just wink at the camera.
That'd be so awesome. Oh, man. Gosh, I wish I was the evil Superman sitcom would be probably the funniest thing. Oh my gosh, yeah, we'd be going to Michigan. We'd have a whole bunch of cans in the back of a semi to take them to recycling, and then we'd figure out logistically it's just not going to work unless we can fly. And then here's me.
Yeah, we don't need to spend any money on gas, Newman. We have bad Superman.
Bad Superman.
Who is recycling?
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
bad
Well, he's doing
Superman.
it for his own gain, though.
Oh,
yeah, he
right,
cares
right.
about the earth.
The funny thing is, you could just rob banks. If you're Superman, you can for sure just go rob places or do stuff like with your super speed and super strength. Instead, you try to do schemes that just gets you a little bit by.
Gets into multi-level marketing.
That's like Hancock.
Yeah, pretty much.
with Will Smith. Yeah.
That's actually one of my fave superhero movies because it's so real. It's yeah, man, I would be. I mean, it's not real, that's really happening, but some of the decisions are kind of goofy. There's a scene where he saves Jason Bateman, but instead of moving his car off the tracks, he just destroys a train.
Oh yeah.
He just stands there and shoulders the train, and then it just is destroyed. And you're like, dude, you could have just moved the car, and everybody would have been just fine. But you made the wrong decision.
Yeah. The emotional conflict wouldn't have been there if he didn't destroy that train.
That's why you should be a writer.
Yeah. Well, I think we should come together and we should pitch this idea to the CW. They're not making the Flash
right,
anymore.
Okay.
Don't, I don't think we should do that. But I think we should maybe get together in the same room
And write something.
and write something together.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be weird for your girlfriend mostly.
Because she'd have to watch.
Yeah.
She'd have a watch and she'd be timing us.
Yeah.
Who's first? Okay. And then
And then at the end, she'd be like, so you're last.
I'd be so nervous. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't.
My girlfriend appreciates that.
Yeah. Just and then she shoots me in the face.
Oh, rude.
Very, very rude with her eye laser beams because she's evil superwoman.
Superwoman.
Yeah. Like, dang it, Madeline. We usually make
you
up.
would get up and be like,
Falcon punch.
I don't know what the first word was.
Falcon Punch is from
From Smash Bros.
Yeah. Okay. I was like talcum.
Talcum.
Yeah, I was like
You just throw
talcum.
talcum powder in someone's eyes and then punch them.
Yeah. Well, after you throw talcum powder in someone's eyes, you have to punch them. Ooh.
That's face shot, body shot, side hook.
Yep.
Ooh. Yeah, I could tell the body hook. It sounded a
Yep.
little bit more meaty.
And this is... That's an anime.
Yeah.
It sounds like anime people just punch with birds.
They punch with eagles. Yeah.
Oh, there's a delay.
The 4th of July, I was standing outside on the... Well, first, two things. I cut off the boat parade in my pontoon. So, like, I didn't know this, but, like, our lake has an area in the middle where it kind of, like, the land goes, like, it kind of pinches to get, so there's, like, a waterway, but it's big enough for, like, you know, I don't know. Let's just say it's a football field wide, you know, but
Yep.
if you're on a boat, it's kind of like, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I was coming that way, and I was going to go diagonal through it, and as I was approaching it, I saw another boat with a bunch of American flag stuff on it. And I
Right.
was like, oh, cool. And then as we were getting through it, I was like, oh, I'm going right through this boat parade. So I just like hit the gas. I was like, brrr, just straight through it.
You didn't just join the parade?
No, I thought about it.
Yeah.
Like I literally was like, oh, if I cut in, but it was the first boat, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
passed me by. So I would have been like cutting off the rest of the boat parade. And the one thing I brought for patriotism to put on the boat, I have a little flag. Forgot it on land. So
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything American except for I had a red, white, and the shirt I
Thong.
was wearing last night.
Oh, yeah.
My shirt was white and it had blue marlin on it and then pink flowers. So it looked red, white, and blue from a distance.
There you go.
But it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So I just dove through. And then we went all the way back over to our house, pulled up onto the dock, and then as the boat parade went by our house, I stood there with my Bluetooth speaker, and I was holding it up. And I thought it would be funny if I had American songs about America.
My dad is served in the army.
Yeah, that one. Let's see. And actually on that playlist was American Woman. And I think it was just on there because it says American.
America.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? We don't need songs. What we need, and then I didn't say anything, and I just started searching. And then I hit play. And then Eagles, like, "Rah!" started just like doing that. So I was holding up my speaker as these boats were going by, and it was like, "Rah!" I can't make an eagle noise.
Pretty
but
good.
How big of a speaker is this? Like, is this loud enough, a big enough speaker that the boats will hear it, or is this just being played for you and everybody's looking at you like, why is he holding?
It's like in the movie Say Anything.
Yep, it's actually just like that. I was wearing a T-shirt, and I had my hoodie tied around my waist.
I think he had a trench coat, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did too. Actually, now that I'm picturing it,
Did he have 3 people stacked underneath that, putting pepperonis on
Would have been
statues
sweet.
that's what John Cusack is 3 people in a trench coat
with pepperonis?
with
Yeah, with
pepperonis.
pepperonis. The pepperonis were actually playing the music.
Mm.
The button's all greasy.
Yeah, he's wearing well, not a trench coat, but whatever that is.
A pea coat?
It's not a pea coat. It's more like a trench coat than a pea coat.
So a trench coat.
He's wearing a pea
It's a
trench-
duster.
Oh, that's a sweet duster.
Oh, well, what do you know?
Yeah, what do you know?
I
Matt?
know stuff and things.
Matthew, why don't you chronologically list everything that you know starting right now?
With the
Yeah.
letter K and then go back to A.
Okay,
Ooh,
gotcha.
nice.
So with the letter K, I know cutter. We talked about that
Qatar
earlier.
starts with a Q.
Yep. Well, cutter, Kutter. I'm spelling cutter wrong.
Right.
I don't know many things. Literacy shouldn't be an assumed skill.
Anton Cutter.
Yeah. Boom! I've got it. I know. I know
but
my
that's
things.
Anton Cutter starts with an E.
Not the not the yeah.
Anton.
Dude, there was this when I coached T-ball. This one kid just said, I'll give that an A for effort because he heard it wrong.
For
It's supposed to be,
effort.
I'll give you an A for effort. The kid just goes, I'll give you an A for effort. And I thought that was the funniest thing. I say it now. I stole that from that child.
As you should.
Well, sometimes children are comedic geniuses and they don't even know it.
Yeah, dude. There was this one kid, Jameson, that I coached. Not to be confused with my ex-girlfriend. But
We wouldn't have known that.
it was spelled different. But
Hers started with a G.
yeah. But I went up to him and I'm like, hey, Jameson, tell me a joke, because he always had something funny to say. And he goes, okay, knock, knock. I'm like, who's there? And he goes, Jameson. He goes, Jameson has hives. And I said, what? And he goes, but that's not a fake joke. That's a real joke. Best part, wasn't a real joke because he actually had hives. It was just a real story.
The best jokes are the real stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that kid on a mic.
Oh, he must be freaking 20-something now.
Itching like crazy.
Yeah, he never got it fixed.
Yeah. Hives kid, if you're listening to this right now.
Yeah.
Hives kid.
Hives kid, we got butt crack boy here. I wasn't sure how much we could go into those jokes because I don't know you well enough. I'm glad that we can.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Kids say crazy. I've always.
It's almost like they had a show for that.
Yeah, kids say the darndest
With
things.
one of the best men to ever live, the nicest, most host who's never done anything wrong.
He's never did anything up until never, they're locking all our stars up.
Yeah, he's out, which is crazy.
Bill?
Yeah. What's crazy? He did do stuff wrong. We were lying about that.
We weren't lying. Or were we lying?
We were lying. We were telling real jokes about him being out.
Oh. He's outed himself.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby escapes. That's how he's out. Like 86 years old and he's escaped.
If Bill Cosby would have escaped prison, just seeing him going around the country with different mustaches and a trench coat and
And
He's
pepperonis.
he's the pepperoni bandit. He goes from drugging people to putting pepperonis
on statues.
That's the whole thing. He wasn't drugging them to have sex with them. He was drugging them so that he could get to the statues to put pepperonis on them, but they were the guardians of the statues. He's like, oh, I'm not interested in having relations with them. I want Jello pudding pops and pepperoni nipples on statues.
Yeah, the pudding wasn't working with the statues.
The pudding pops on the statues. Okay, what's your best Bill Cosby?
Oh God, I can't do a Bill Cosby. My vocal impersonations are almost exclusively Donald Trump, Barack Obama, and Jar Jar Binks.
They
all
sound
pretty
exactly
similar.
the same.
Yeah, exactly. So
Let's hear Jar Jar Binks giving a speech like Obama.
Misa, I think. No, I'm kidding. I can't do Jar Jar Binks. I thought we were all just going to play off that and be like, very
I thought
fun.
it was going pretty
You
well.
were
Oh,
doing
thanks.
pretty
No.
well. Okay.
Well, those drones. No, that's not.
That's like a more Mickey Mouse. Like,
Yeah.
You want to hear my impression of Bill Cosby? Yeah. It's pretty good. Here, mildly attractive lady, drink this. Yes. That's my Bill Cosby.
I thought that was Bill just right next to me here for a
Right.
second.
Yeah.
I was like, how'd you escape prison?
Well,
Oh no, he's right here.
do you see any mildly attractive women that I can give this drink to?
Well, let's not.
And for legal reasons.
Yeah.
I'm just
What's
kidding.
your
I don't-
shirt? Of
Oh, my shirt is from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio.
nobody cares.
Oh, that's so funny. My one of my favorite things to do is somebody will tell a story and they'll be like, "Oh gosh, I was at the grocery store the other day," and then I'll be like, "Who?" And they'll say, Me, I was, and then I'll cut them off and say asked,
Nice.
and then they're like, or then I'll say I was at the grocery store and we were getting some pineapple rings, and I'll be like, what? Pineapple ever? Like I cut them off and say
How
ever.
often do you buy pineapple rings?
Well, depends on how often I'm at the grocery store. When I look over at the pineapples, it depends on the size of the rings.
Say when on the size of the rings.
When on the size of the rings.
Okay. That was good.
Was I supposed to say it at a particular time?
No, that was perfect.
Okay.
There were no notes on that. There were no notes. It's exactly how I thought it was going to go in my head, too.
Nice.
My friend brought. My friend always gets pineapple, like fresh pineapple, and cuts it, and it's maybe one of the best things that there is.
Yeah,
Just
fresh
to have,
pineapple.
yeah. Always cut it. Dude, I'm single boy in his 30s, so I always get asked to bring chips. It's perfect. That's all they expect of me. Everywhere I go, it's like, what can I bring? Chips.
Bring the chips and maybe some napkins. No, you probably don't have any napkins.
I know.
Bring some chips.
No, you don't have napkins as a single guy. You have your pant leg. You have
That's
multiple pant legs sitting around your house.
I used to say to my kid, I'd be like, hey, here's a pair of pants. And I'd be handing him a napkin. And then he'd be like, what? And then, like, because you just wipe your hands on your pants. So
Yeah.
if I call this a pair of pants, then you'll say, oh, I'm going to wipe my fingers on that.
Yep.
And my kid's a 1940s gangster.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to work this out last night where I was like, people, all they expect of me is to bring chips. That's the expectations that they have for a single guy because everyone else is together and has their life together. But people don't realize that, like, you don't need chips with the meal, right? But then all of a sudden everyone starts liking the chips a little more till the point where everyone starts having a few more drinks and those chips start looking even better. And then the ladies used to care about, not eating too many chips, but now they kind of want some more. They want that shit. They want that new chip.
Yeah.
And then it's like, sorry, Robbie, I had sex with your wife. No.
She wanted my chips, dude.
Yeah.
What was I supposed
So
to do?
single guys are just the equivalent to chips
Yeah.
overall. Because you do realize, you're like, I do have superior taste and chip knowledge as opposed to married people who eat healthy.
They just go there. They're like, what kind of chips do I want? Oh, I think I'll get these pop chips that are like popcorn chips.
Yeah, they haven't tried the new Sriracha Doritos.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. Sriracha Doritos.
Yeah, dude, they're
Sriracha.
bomb. Yeah. They're so good.
You know it's not
I
good.
can't get chips because I eat the whole bag at once.
Same. We're a big rippled potato chips
Love
family.
them. Love
Okay, yeah.
them.
With French onion dip, and if I am left unattended, we'll buy like the triple bag box.
Yeah.
And if I'm left unattended, I will eat all 3 bags
Yeah,
in one
dude.
sitting.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
bad.
That's not bad. That's awesome.
That's fair.
That is-
You know what?
that's
I
very
need you in my
cool.
life more.
It's- yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come with me back to Grand Forks, and we'll
Start a life
me,
together.
Madeline. It'll be perfect.
Well, can I live separately from you
Ethically
guys?
non-monogamous, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be part of that thing. I don't want to come in between you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, because then she would be upset that you two left together.
She's like, what's this?
I'm leaving you for Mark Way. He accepts my chips eating.
Yeah, but then he'd be like, he'd have crumbs all over his beard and be like, I love chips too.
You're just licking them off his body.
I'd be like, yeah, Madeline. I'd be like, have you seen these pepperonis?
Madeline, what happened to your yellow trench coat?
Oh, the one you altered to make it 27 feet tall so you could put pepperonis on Bob Dylan? I don't know, Mark Quay. I'd be like, you said my name right.
And you can read about this and more, or listen to it in audiobook when our new book drops this fall.
What's it called?
Ethically non-monogamous.
Nice.
Ethically non-monogamous potatoes. No.
Ethically non-monaga chips.
Yeah,
I
there
was
we
trying
go.
to figure out how to. Your fingers will get moist
Ooh.
from the grease on the chips.
Yeah.
Or they'll get moist.
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 Moist. Moist.
Moist.
Moist.
That was very moist of you. The hoist with the moist.
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 My name's Moist. I should find just a little dinky kid. I'm like, what up, Moist? I don't know why, kid. A nerdy boy. I'm gonna go back to high school just to start bullying kids. And I'm gonna give them all nicknames like, this is Moist from now on. It's just gonna be a little nerd carrying his book bags. I'm like, this is what you do to him. Slap him down. I'm like, now call him Moist.
No, if I did that, I'd probably pick. Well, geez. You got to be careful because if you pick like let's say the quarterback on the football team or something like that, or the strong safety or something, and you start picking on him, he can beat you up still,
Right.
You know,
You might punch him
Yeah.
and he might be evil Superman.
right?
That is true. We forgot about evil Superman.
I never forgot about you.
Bro, you never forget about evil Superman.
My hand still hurts.
Yeah. Every second you're not running, evil Superman gets closer.
Oh God! What if I looked over and there's just a kid like a block away, just staring at me with red eyes, like, "Oh, dude, he's gonna laser right through my head."
He'll get the A.
A for AFFORT. AFFORT.
Oh, boy.
AFFORT.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, because Affleck.
Yeah, that's why.
Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck. Were you just hawking a loogie?
Moist.
Is that your DJ tag now?
Dude, there was a while where every once in a while...
DJ Moist.
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 I think I would want to say that like an anime character. Moist, 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 moist. That's my Street Fighter. Moist, 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 moist.
Oh,
And then they just-
moist.
Yeah. And then I just pull out their heart.
Oh,
I guess that'd be more Mortal Kombat.
yeah, but still.
Street Fighter.
Moistal Kombat.
Moistal Kombat. I think we have a movie we could make with that. And we're going to need a Sable.
Hey, excuse me, miss, can you be the star in our movie called Moistal Kombat?
Finish her.
Excuse me, sir, I am finished. I am leaving.
And so are we because we're out of time. Matthew, thanks for coming in today, dude.
Thank you so much for having me.
You have a good
Dude.
time.
Absolutely.
He needs to say that.
Yeah, I contractually am obligated
Yeah.
to say I had a good time.
Perfect. We'll go see him on Thursday at Empire Art Center.
Not could be
Absolutely.
confused with the Empire downtown
Yeah.
in Fargo.
Or the
Correct.
Empire that Strikes Back.
Oh,
They're in Grand Forks. Do you get advance tickets for that? Or?
Yep, tickets are on sale, empireartcenter.com or by calling 701-746-5500. They're also available at the door. It's $20 admission.
Perfect. Markway and I will be at, well, we're just doing an outside show at Fort Knox, July 19th at night. We'll be with, I got a whole list of people. We're just doing a showcase-ish style. Should we do 8 to 10 or 9 to 11? I got to choose 8 to 10.
ooh.
It's outside.
Probably 8 to 10 because
gonna get a
9
little
to
late.
11 will get rowdy.
Yeah.
People won't want to pay attention.
We'll
from
do
9
8 to
11.
10. 8 to 10 outside at Fort Knox. Street fairs that day. We'll have like
Oh, sweet. Yeah, we
probably
want to
just
do it
have
early.
7 people all doing around 10 minutes. I mean, we don't want to go over 90 minutes, I don't think.
That's 70 minutes for the uninitiated.
Yeah. Well, people will go over time. It'll be about an hour and a half.
Boy, will they.
Yeah. They'll be out of time. People will be for sure heckling us because it's outside at Fort Knox, but it'll be super fun. So come to that. That's actually a free show. Free show out on the patio after the street fair. That'll be super fun. Josh DeLay, Nathan Folsebach, Mark Way, me, Ruby Richard.
Oh, Ruby's going to be on it?
Oh,
Nice.
Parker Boone and JVB.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I usually don't like doing shows like that. I usually just like having like the headline, like host, guest, headliner,
Traditional.
feature. Yeah, that's way. Just do that. Have like a good headliner and good feature, and then just openers up there. But this will be better, I think, for everyone doing all small sets for having that many random people out there. So we'll see you guys there, and then what else is going on? Yeah, my other stuff isn't until August. So we'll promote that later. Okay, guys. Toodaloo.
Yay, bye, aloha.